Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. I'm Matt, that's Kim, Jackie, and Jason. We are talking about episode 13 of Star Trek Discovery Season 1. What's past is prologue. We have 2 more episodes left until this season is over. We may be out of the Mirror Universe, but the Mirror Universe won't stay dead.
Because they brought part of it back
Exactly.
to Prime
part of it back.
against her will.
Right.
Yeah.
And we saw the death of Lorca.
Now you say that in quotation.
Because listen, things gonna happen. We thought Stamets was done for and he was killed, but he's not done for.
We don't know where Prime Lorca is.
Yeah, Prime Lorca.
He could be in the mycelial network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But didn't you guys feel that last night's episode, one, it was, and you guys are probably gonna hate me in the comments, but I'm gonna say this because I have to. Any episode of Discovery that doesn't have a Klingon in it is great for me because it was a great episode.
It was a great episode.
They had a solid AB. They didn't need that Klingon C.
Right.
And I was a little curious as to what's going on with Tyler, but not enough to want to see him.
Exactly.
Like just
we got 2 episodes left.
mildly curious as to what's going on.
He could go and be gone and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
We can get her a new boyfriend. It'll
For
be
sure.
fine.
But this episode I thought was really good because they definitely pulled a lot of strings in the previous episodes. I am beyond upset that I was not here and all of
we
my
had a
ships
great
came.
Give a round of applause for Jackie and her
We said that
predictions.
last
Yes.
week. Like, where's
I know.
Jackie and all her theories that came true?
Yeah.
Freezing and Sunday.
Not to go back on last week, but my dirty ship. I just want to have that in a graphic, like my dirty ship, and it happened, and it was dirty, just like I said it was gonna be. But yeah, no, Lorca and Burnham obviously have this connection, which is why I do think they're gonna get to Prime Lorca. It's also why I think it was completely bananas what she did with the captain, the Emperor, bringing her to this timeline.
That plan, okay, their plan to stop him was stupid.
Yeah.
It was pretend to be submissive about it and then just start attacking them.
Right. Yeah.
But I did like that we got to see Michelle Yeoh actually
badass?
kick someone's ass because
Yeah.
you don't invite her to your show and not have her literally kick everyone's ass.
And then she's now has a chance in some way, shape, or form to be a part of the show now in these last few episodes. I obviously don't think that she's gonna last
I don't
long
either.
because it just doesn't make any sense for her to, but she could.
Maybe a couple episodes though,
I
right?
think she'll make it to the season finale, but no more after
It's
that.
in her contract.
Yeah.
So last week, people were really upset that I wasn't dumping on Michelle Yeoh, but seeing her this week was amazing. I thought the fight scenes were great. It seemed like we're always talking about how the journey we've taken with the show from last fall when we were like, now last night the fight scenes were fantastic.
Yes, the fight scenes were amazing.
Did you see Lorca gave Georgiou one of the famous Star Trek double punches?
Oh yeah.
I didn't
Right on
notice
the
that.
one that knocked her on the
yes,
throne.
on
He
the,
goes,
yes.
Right. Also, the headbutt was awesome.
And then just all of them in that kind of massive battle fight, like in the throne room or just outside. That was just so cool. It felt operatic. I loved it.
There's a lot of for me, again, not being the normal Star Trek viewer or fan, I thought that last night could have been easily the finale because so much happened in such a little time. I was sad to see not Beyonce Tilly back.
I liked her hair straight.
Yeah, I was totally feeling her.
Maybe not her look, but you can definitely appreciate that Tilly's had an evolution
Sure,
with
yeah, absolutely.
everything that's
Of course.
happened. And also Saru. I just did not think I would be as down as I was for Captain Saru.
I really love that he pulled the Kobayashi Maru no-win situation up, evoking it in such an inspiring way. Is he the first non-human captain?
Well, Spock was captain for a while.
A little bit?
Right.
Half
Well,
human, though.
so
Yeah,
we
half
may
human.
see. Well, we don't know, right? We have yet to see in a regular series a regular captain be a non-human, right? In all of the series we've had so far, the ship that we're focused on, we have a human captain. So we haven't yet seen someone that's not human. So we could get that. We'll see what happens. That would be kind of cool to see.
Well, wouldn't it be the natural choice for Saru to be the
would
captain
think,
now?
right?
Or unless he yields to Burnham or someone.
Or Prime Lorca. I'm so curious as to where Prime Lorca is.
know.
Prime Lorca is that meal that you've heard about, and I'm just like, what? I can't wait to eat you and find out what.
And he'll be totally milquetoast, right?
Yeah, and I think that's Jason Isaacs did an interview recently that we had up on the site where he kind of talked about how for him it's been weird because he's known where this is going, and it's been a little weird and off-putting for him to be people I love
guy.
Lorca, and he's like.
What was amusing to me, I don't know if it was funny, it was kind of funny, was how this episode was just like, we're done with subtleties.
Yeah.
Make empire glorious again. Racism, it's got its place, everyone.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, well, we're riding the network with our environment-loving ways, and they're burning it up, and we're ruining it for everyone. But I had a good time with that.
And Wilson Cruz coming back.
Is he?
No, I mean like in that episode, like him in that episode.
Damn.
Coming back.
I thought you had news.
No,
I got excited.
No, I wish I had that news. No, I meant just him coming back was kind of cool, and like having that, I felt a good bow if it ends up being the bow on that character.
There were a couple things that, as we were watching last night, I was watching with my wife and my 14-year-old, and when there's the line about let's make the empire glorious again, my 14-year-old kid says, they're all gonna get red hats, right? Red MAGA hats, right?
Mega this time.
I was like, what?
Yeah, MAGA, right.
Yeah.
Soon to be coming on the TYT shop, MAGA. No.
No.
But the other thing was when Stamets is talking about like, oh, he's talking about Mirror Stamets has corrupted the whole network, and he says a couple times like, it's not just this universe, it's gonna kill all life in the multiverse. And every time he'd say it, like, but no pressure. Like, no pressure. I mean, we've definitely upped the stakes. We've definitely escalated in this particular show, because typically in Star Trek, it's like, in the original series, you'd hear all the time, Kirk would quote, how many people on the ship, right? I've got this many people, this is how many lives I'm trying to save. And then it's like, well, we're gonna save the Earth, or we're gonna save the planet, or we're gonna save the galaxy. And we've gone straight to, we're gonna save all of existence.
Except for when they come back and they realize that they're desperately losing everything.
Right.
And also,
but hey, better to lose the war than all of the universes get wiped out simultaneously.
I mean, maybe. We'll see what
right?
happens. Did anyone also pay attention to the little spore that like
Why
landed
did it
on?
take so long and zoom in so close? What does that mean?
This show now.
Give me one of your crazy theories. I want it.
Look, all I will say is this show now has definitely demonstrated to me that no matter what, it will always put something on screen that you don't know what it means now, but by the time the finale comes, we will.
But do you think, which I like that type of storytelling, however, do you think that the show, well now it's definitely a show that you're invested in, that you want to stay along for that ride, but do you think that's the smartest thing to do with a show like this?
Well, look, okay, here's my wild theory. I'll say it because I do think it's a wild theory.
I have a wild one too, and I'm afraid you're gonna have a better one than me.
If it's a spore, there is obviously some irreparable harm that has been done by the fact that the Discovery has been outside the timeline for 9 months. And if they could somehow engineer a way that they could either grow some spore to then retcon the timeline and get back to where they need to go to fix this whole idea of being 9 months outside the timeline. Because if they're losing the war this badly, this is outside of the way things ended up being.
I have two theories. In the next 2 episodes, the super fierce former emperor, Georgiou, is going to turn the tide because she's going to teach the Federation to fight dirtier than they ever thought they could. And that's what will turn the tide on the war.
Yeah.
What's going to happen with Tilly will be the next Stamets functionally. She'll be the one driving the ship, because Stamets is gonna go back into the network to find his husband.
That'd be amazing, and that would make sense.
Yeah.
That would be Matt. That would be
what I
brilliant,
think.
actually.
That's what I'd like to see happen.
Yeah, I could
be
see
great.
that being the last episode. Officer Stamets is gone, sir. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I stand by my feeling of no more Klingons. Introduce Romulans.
You're on the wrong franchise, buddy.
I'm
You're the wrong
sorry,
franchise, my
Matt,
friend.
Matt, you had so much hope for me, didn't
I
you?
know.
It's these Klingons.
Right. Bring the Romulans. Bring someone else in. They look better. But I think that. I know I'm terrible. I think that your theory is brilliant.
I want Tellarites, the pig people.
The pig people. Yeah.
Come on,
Get
Tellarites.
Kardashians up in here.
Oh my God.
Wait.
Not
Kardashians.
Kardashians.
I was like, Kim,
Kardashians.
no,
Kardashians.
Really?
Are,
Kim,
yes.
really?
Yes.
No, not the.
I know.
Is it Cardassian whiskey? What Kirk is always drinking?
No, that's Romulan ale, isn't it?
Romulan ale. Okay.
Yeah. What a scene I really liked.
Is
It's
it?
like, what the fuck are you guys talking
There
about?
is in a scene in Wrath of Khan at the very beginning, like after the Kirstie Alley scene, where he's just like, "What is that?" And
That's
it's like,
Romulan ale.
yeah, Romulan ale. Okay, yeah.
I think there's like, isn't there like Klingon blood wine?
There's like a
Yes.
fire whiskey
Yeah.
too, though. That was the one that I was thinking. I don't know which one it is.
Well,
though.
I'm sure you'll
think
tell us
about
in the
I'm sure they'll tell us
later.
in the comments. Yeah.
But a scene I liked was at the end when Burnham just says, "If you would have told us you needed help, we would have done it." And he just looks dumbfounded at her,
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
And that was kind of funny
my
too.
year of scheming was pointless."
It was kind of funny because it was absolutely true. Because they probably wouldn't have done the things that he did to get him home, but they would have tried to figure
They
out
would
a
have
way to get him
figured something out.
home. He's not going to tell him he's a murderous, emperor stealer.
Well, I just liked how she was showing the idealism of the Federation in a way that was just not, because before they were mocking them for being idealists, but it was in such a way that was so, I thought, true to Starfleet, and I was happy to see her do that, because before we were complaining, like, why is she breaking command? Why is she doing all these things? And I liked that coming from her. It shows where her heart really is.
True.
So let's not be surprised if we get a Prime Lorca returning, because since Mirror Lorca mentioned that he ended up in Prime Universe because of the transporter accident, that's the same thing that happened in the original Mirror Mirror episode, which meant that they switched, right? Because the regular Enterprise got, the Prime Enterprise got awful Mirror Kirk, right? So Lorca presumably is still out there in the Mirror Universe someplace and may be able to come back at some point.
Or maybe he already got back.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't think they're gonna have a character as powerful and as polarizing as Lorca, and that'd be the end of him in that way in this season. There's no way. Do you guys?
Yeah.
And I don't think they
totally-
want to get rid of Jason Isaacs. I think Jason Isaacs is not a short run on the show.
Right, but I want to see that Lorca come back and be like super wimpy. Like just completely the opposite. Like,
Can we have some chamomile tea and discuss this?
exactly.
Yeah, gosh, that'd be weird.
Well, they all kind of have similar traits to
True,
their mirror compartment. Like Landry was an impulsive idiot in both universes.
What's her name? I just call her like she wanted to kill Burnham girl, but in the you know what I'm talking about?
The agonizer girl that came out and became like the right hand chick.
Yeah, she looks very plotty, calculating in both sides. So yeah, I'll give you that.
I should have looked up the character name. I was happy we got the first dialogue from the cyborg person. That was kind of cool. I was like, oh,
Cyborg
okay,
person's
so
name.
Daft Punk talks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tricolored ball.
She reminds me of like remember the binaries from the Next Generation.
She looks like the Thanos' daughter from
Nebula.
Yeah, she looks
from-
yeah, she's
Got
got
a
a
little
little bit.
nebula in her. Yep.
All right. So I think it's safe to say that at least in the second half of the season, we've completely turned from where we were going into the break at the beginning of the season, right? Like we were kind of, yeah, it's okay, we'll stick with it, and comes back and we're just all in.
They planted some good seeds in the first half. They planted good seeds that have now blossomed into something better and something I think a lot more like hammered out. Very interested to see where they go with the season finale, because I agree with you. They had a perfect segue to a finale, and then they kind of opened up some new storylines, and so where they're gonna leave them now, with only 2 episodes really left to resolve them?
They have to just resolve the war, I guess, at this point.
Or not.
Or not,
Leave
right.
it open.
Or not.
But then what do we do after that?
Because this is the first time we've refocused on the war kind of since like episode 3. We've been dealing with every other kind of problem other than the war. Now granted, Lorca was quote unquote trying to do things to fix it, but
Lorca was doing Lorca stuff.
Lorca was doing Lorca stuff.
Lorca's being Lorca.
It's like they trimmed the fat for this episode and really gave us the meat of everything. But like the Tyler Ash thing, are they gonna bring that back for the next 2 episodes? It isn't, you want to go out strong, And last night's episode, like how do you top that? How do you?
I think whatever it is, it'll have Michelle Yeoh with it.
Right, and we saw a little
has
bit
to.
of Laurel in the preview, right? So I think we're gonna get some of Georgiou and Laurel comparing notes. That could be really dangerous.
That could be interesting.
All right, well, join us next week. We will be back with the upcoming penultimate
The real
episode.
penultimate.
the real penultimate. Are you sure, Kim? Kim, are you
Yes,
sure?
this time
Yes.
I'm not confused.
So thank you for joining us, and until next week, live long and prosper.